We've got Batman issue 11, my favorite Joker cover, closing in 28 seconds with little Herby Skogland's sticker right there smack dab in the middle on the cover, telling us that it's his copy of the book. Well, Herby, it's no longer your copy. My guess is you are no longer with us, and now we all have to deal with your little sticker. Just closed. The bidding was at $9,694, well below fair market, and it closed for $4. Boy, it's the sticker. I mean, it's the sticker. This is the second video in the ComicLink Winter Featured Auction closing series. I just finished Action Comics, an amazing Spider-Man with one amazing stories. Now we're into Avengers. I'm going to go through the Avengers books and into Batman. Here we go. Now, in the previous fall featured auction, we had an 8.0 copy of Avengers 1 sell with a fair market of $16,500, and it sold for far below that, $11,319, $11,000 and change. But that was a terrible looking 8.0. It had a lot of problems. It was way too generously graded. This, I think, is an accurately graded 8.0. Fair market is still $16,500 for this book because these ComicLink sales don't get reported to Go Collect. The bidding was at $12,750, but it closed, it closed for $12,750. So here we have an accurately graded 8.0 still going for 20% or so below fair market value. How about that? Cream to off-white though. Okay, cream to off-white explains some of it, but it's a very nice looking cover regardless of the page quality. Youch. Avengers 1, it's the first Avengers book. It is not valued in line with the other Marvel Silver Age keys. Hulk 1, Fantastic Four 1, X-Men 1. I'm going to put up on the screen here for reference what an 8.0 copy of all the Marvel Silver Age keys, or a few of the main Marvel Silver Age keys, goes for, so you can see that Avengers is valued way below those other keys. I hope I'm right. I don't have the data right now, but I'm going to dig it up and I'll put it up here, and I think it will show you that Avengers 1 is valued way below them, and it shouldn't be. It's valued low because collectors prize first appearances, and there are no first appearances in this book. I think that is very silly. It has never made sense to me. This is the first appearance of the Avengers. When we're all dead and gone, when all of us old men who collect comic books are gone, the few people left in this world who still value comic books, they're going to look at Avengers 1 and they're going to go, that should be worth a lot. These other ones, Journey into Mystery 83, who cares? I think this title, this brand is going to live on beyond these other books. So I think it's a great buy. $12,750. Hell yeah. End rant. It's like the 7th time I've ranted about Avengers 1. Avengers 2, 9.0. Always have to point these out. Here's my Avengers 2, not a 9.0. Fair market, $2,600. Closes, it was at $2,111. Closes at $2,311. 10% below fair market, roughly. Then we've got Avengers 4. My beloved Avengers 4, which I think is woefully undervalued. I think it is, if not Jack Kirby's best cover, it is one of his top 5 for sure. It is emblematic of the Silver Age of comic books, in my opinion, the defining cover of that era. This is a 9.6 virtually perfect copy. It is listed as white pages, but we can all see this cover. It's dark. Mine is not much brighter, but it's tanned. This is pretty tanned. I'm surprised that they gave it a white pages considering how faded the cover is, but they don't penalize books for brightness. Fair market on this almost perfect copy is $32,000. The bidding was at $28,777. I said in the previews my heart would be broken if this was another disappointing sale. At $28,777, it's already not a disappointment. That is a good sale price for this book. Not tragic. Let's see what it closed at. Whoa! There we go. $39,999. That's over 20% above fair market. I don't think I've ever seen this book sell for above. It always sells for low. But this is such a high quality copy. Have we got any sales that high? Yes. We've got a heritage sale from 3 years ago for $45,600. Aside from that sale though, nothing else that high. Back in 2020, it was selling for $19,200. This is unusual. We have a book selling for considerably more on ComicLink than it did on Heritage. $40,000. Well, that's great. I'm happy. I gotta put this back on the wall so we don't have a hole. We got a lot of high grade Avengers, early Avengers issues here. Number 5 in 9.6, 7,250. Fair market closing, 6,666. Issue 6 in 9.8. We don't have a fair market because we don't have a recent sale. The last sale was almost 8 years ago for $7,823. But we have a fair market at 9.6 of $4,200. So at 9.8, it should be around about $10,000. I don't think we're going to see that happen. It's at 6,050, closes for 7,650, just slightly lower than what it sold for 8 years ago. Oh, we got King. We've got the first King, which I got here at 7.0. Picked this up for peanuts when the price crashed after, can't even remember his name, the guy, Jonathan something, when he got fired from the role of King and they pivoted on the MCU with Dr. Doom. The price on this book crashed, but here's a 9.8 off-white to white. Fair market for a 9.8. Ooh, we had it selling for $54,000 back when Jonathan Majors was going to play King. That's the last sale. Prior to that, 11,950. It's probably back down to the pre-Jonathan Majors price. Sold on Heritage for 11,950. Here we are, 11,750, closing 21,500. Nowhere near that golden sale, but it was a golden sale. It was a golden sale. That's part of it. Issue 25, because it's a Dr. Doom cover. It's the first time Dr. Doom met the Avengers. We got Avengers Doomsday coming out. The story has nothing to do with the movie, but it has Dr. Doom facing off against Captain America, which we're gonna see. Fair market on this book at 9.6 is $3,400. Is there any spec bidding? 3,609. That's it for the Avengers. Moving on to Batman. We've got Batman issue 11, my favorite Joker cover, closing in 28 seconds with little Herby Skogland's sticker right there smack dab in the middle on the cover, telling us that it's his copy of the book. Well, Herby, it's no longer your copy. My guess is you are no longer with us, and now we all have to deal with your little sticker. Oh well. Off-white to white pages, fair market at 6.5 is 15,500. I think this is a fantastic cover. Just closed. The bidding was at 9,694, well below fair market, and it closed for 9,844. Boy, it's the sticker. I mean, it's the sticker. That kind of ruined it for me. It's on my short list of books I'd like to get, but I would not buy this one on account of the sticker. Batman issue 20, Spokane Pedigree, 9.0 white pages. This is the first cover appearance of the Batmobile. I love the design of this particular Batmobile. There's a lot of great Batmobiles. I don't know why Robin's driving. What's Robin, 12? He's too young to be driving, right? Robin should not be driving the Batmobile, ever. Fair market for a non-pedigree 9.0. We don't know, because there are so few sales of this book at 9.0. Based on other sales I saw here, it sold 5.5 years ago for $6,600, but an 8.5's fair market is $11,000. With a jump from 8.5 to 9.0 being about 60%, this should sell for about $17,000. I don't know what's up with that very low, fairly recent $6,600 sale. And by the way, the highest graded copy of this book is 9.4. So there's only 4 higher graded copies. And this is a pedigree, for whatever that's worth. Bidding was at 8,650, well below where I put the value at, and it closed for 16,101. Okay, we're in the ballpark. 16,101, pedigree 9.0, one of the highest graded copies of this book, but there's the K. If you like perfect, you're not gonna love this one because it's got that weird K on the cover. But you know, not that big a deal. Then we got a Joker cover, Batman 44, closing in 5 seconds. Fair market at 5.0 is $1,950. We're already above that. 2,113 closes for 2,213, above fair market. I don't love the look of the Joker, and this is sleepy-eyed Joker, the black and blue look above and below his eyes. I like the Dick Sprang Joker. I like the Jerry Robinson Joker. We got the first Mr. Freeze closing in 43 seconds. Batman 121 in 6.5. Fair market on this is $5,500. We're already at 4,776. Final 5 seconds. Not going to do an update. Going to wait. And 48.76. Still 10% below the fair market for the first appearance of Mr. Freeze. The beginning of the Silver Age. This is 1959. Batman started adding new villains to his rogues gallery. 181 first Poison Ivy. This is from 1966. And this is a 9.0 off-white to white copy. Fair market is $6,500. This is going at $4,539 with 22 seconds left to go. And it closes, again, 6,500 is the fair market, 5,050, 20% and change below fair market. Poison Ivy is dropping. Then we've got the first Ra's al Ghul in Batman 232. Fair market at 9.8 is $8,500. Biddings at 7,138. 3 seconds to go. And closes at 7,138. The 9.6, half that amount, $4,300. Biddings at $2,500. If I cared at all about having the first Ra's al Ghul, I might swoop in here, see if I could get it for far below book. 227, that's a book I'm trying to get my hands on. There's no 227s in this auction. 232, I do not care about. And it closes for $2,500. It's almost half the fair market value. First Silver Age Two-Face. Now they call this the first Silver Age Two-Face, but it's from 1971. That's the Bronze Age, dude. That's well into the Bronze Age. Started with Jack Kirby quitting and with Spider-Man and Green Arrow both having drug-related issues, the Comics Code, loosening the restrictions on comics. That's the Bronze Age. This book is well after that happened, so it's the first Bronze Age Two-Face. I think Two-Face just didn't show up at all in the Silver Age. He never showed up on the show, and this is Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams with their darker take on Batman. This is the Two-Face the way we know him from the movies and games that we see in modern times. 9.6 white pages. Fair market's $2,500. This one closes for $2,000. Okay, we got a minute before these two split bids on Batman 251 happen. This 9.8 is perfect, but it's off white to white. Fair market at 9.8 is $31,000. But if you look at those sales, first of all, they're mostly on Heritage. Second of all, they're mostly white pages. This is neither. So the bidding on this is $12,350. It is now, with 36 seconds left to go, $13,916. We know it's not going to get anywhere close to $31,000. But if you look at the sales, past recent sales, I think realistically this could go for $19,000 or $20,000. But we're not even close to that now. We had this going 5 years ago for $11,000 before its mysterious jump on eBay and then Heritage into the $30,000 range. That is over. It closes for $17,600. Then we got this 9.4, which is a white page copy and has a far lower fair market. Fair market at 9.4 is just $2,700. So we're already past that because we should be, because $2,700 is too low for a 9.4 of one of the best Joker covers. 9.4, fair market $2,700, closes for $3,029. To over 13% above fair market. That seems about right because that price is too low. I got my 7.0 here. I'm perfectly happy with this copy. And I didn't have to pay anywhere near that amount, but this is a pretty good price. Black Cat, Black Knight, Black Terror. Stop briefly at Black Terror because I like Black Terror's sidekick because his name is Tim. Black Terror and Tim. Black Terror, Tim. Blue Beetle 54 in 7.0. This has got a fairly notorious, overly suggestive cover from before the Comics Code came in and made this sort of stuff unacceptable. I still can't figure out, this is not about it being salacious. I just can't figure out why you can see her top going around her back in the mirror, but then nothing on her back. The bra strap, the bikini top just disappears. I don't understand. The vanishing nude. Oh, does the vanishing nude mean her clothes vanish? I don't know. Whatever. Fair market in 7.0 is $13,500. With 5 seconds left to close, bidding's at $7,650. And it closes for $13,250, just $250 below the fair market. So there's still a market for naughty, spicy comic books from the 1940s. Brave and the Bold 28, 7.0. We watched a 9.2 sell in the last fall featured for $106,000. There's a fair market at 9.6 for the highest graded copy at $800,000. I think it sold for $800,000. But this is just a 7.0 copy, so it's going to go for a tiny, tiny fraction of that amount. All right, getting into the final seconds with 12 seconds left to go. Still no bids. Still a little over $1,000 below fair market for the first appearance of the Justice League. This is the comic that got Martin Goodman to order Stan Lee to come up with some superhero books because he saw this team up of different characters. He said, we should have that. That led to the Fantastic Four. Obviously, the closer comparison is the Avengers, which came later. But Fantastic Four came out of a desire to compete with DC's growing line of superheroes. They battle Starro in this one, which we saw in the Suicide Squad movie, which was a great spin on the Starro character. Took it from a silly villain to a silly but scary villain, Starro the Conqueror. Has it moved from $7,927? It has not. Closes for $1,000 below fair market. This is the end of the second video in the ComicLink Winter Featured Auction closing. I'm going to cut it short here. Don't forget to check out my store on Shortboxed, where you can see all the comics that I've got up for sale, including this one, Amazing Spider-Man Annual 1, and a bunch of other raw EC sci-fi books like these, and a bunch of early Ditko Romita Spider-Man books. You can get these books now in my store on Shortboxed. Download the app or go to the website. The store is called Grails to Astonish. That's all for now.